Hey everybody, hope you're all doing great. This is Miss Cato coming to you live from beautiful downtown Cary, North Carolina, that hub of creativity and innovation that is my very small apartment. And I'm here because I want to give you the lesson, sort of in person, that I would be giving you today if I was actually there. But let's get started with something else. Behind me, just so you can see, this is actually where I work. This is my little semi-studio space in my apartment. It should be the dining area, but I make art in this area. But behind me, you can see a couple of paintings. Those are paintings I did last year before I moved, but let's look up a little bit because they're kind of big. Up! They keep going and going and going. There they are. So those are two bigger canvases. Sometimes I do more abstract work. Sometimes I do hyper-realistic work. It just depends on the kind of ideas that I have that I'm trying to work out. So that's what I keep telling you, why it's important to have all kinds of skills with all kinds of materials so that you never feel limited in telling the story that you need to tell through your art, through any of your arts. It doesn't matter if it's dance or music or anything. You just get proficient so that your curiosities will show up and then you'll know what to do with them to make sure the world can hear your story. So at the end of the day, that's what's important. So we're actually going to continue today with our observational drawing. Everything starts with looking. Everything starts with looking. So we did the one object with a plant in it already, and we drew some shapes, but not from observation. Those cones and cubes and spheres that we drew, those were from the video presentation. It's a little bit different. But what we're going to do today is we're actually going to look at multiple shapes in space. So we're going to combine the two. And we're going to really look at shading and how to get things to look like one is in front of another, right? So I have a collection of things next to me. It doesn't matter what you draw. I have, you can draw cups and bowls, nice spherical, cylindrical things. That works. We have also a water bottle, anything transparency. Remember, you're going to see through it, right? So you take that into consideration. Maybe dinosaurs. Maybe lollipops. Kind of doesn't matter. And you know how Miss Cato is about her crystals. It doesn't matter. You're going to just make a little composition with a couple of objects that we're going to draw. So just for the sake of simplicity here, I'm actually going to move the camera a little, so it's going to be a little jiggly. I don't have time to edit different segments together, so I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to point it down to the table a little bit here. If you just hold on just a second. There you go. So you can see what I'm going to see in front of me too. And I'm going to scoot this back. Okay. Wow. That's a little crooked, but okay. Now, this is my pencil box. This is where I keep my pencils, in here and in here. And this is also something really quickly that I want to share with you. I have a selection of pencils in here. There's so many different kinds. Then the normal one that you use at school is called a 2B or a 2H pencil. It has to do with how hard the lead is. For example, this one is a 4B. Anytime you see a B, it means it's very soft, and 4 is pretty soft. The softer pencils give you darker shadows, and the harder pencils give you a lighter shadow. They don't get as dark. And personally, I normally draw with these. These are, mechanical pencils. These are gold pencils, because you know how much Miss Cato loves gold paint and stuff like that. So I have actually metallic gold pencils that I use as well. And then these giant fabulous graphite sticks. These are like really big pencils without any wood on them. It's pure graphite. This is like if you're doing mural size drawings or really big drawings and you want to get a big area and just get that lovely kind of blended, smushy kind of look. It's fantastic. I love those too. So actually what we'll do today is I'm going to use this 4B pencil, sharpen it up, and I'm going to get us started on this composition. Let's see, I don't have a nice electric pencil sharpener like you do in the classroom, so I only have these. Okay, so I have my 4B pencil right here. Move these out of the way. And let's get this sketchbook opened up here. This is one of my sketchbooks. I have a million all over the place with lots of projects already in this one. Let's open this up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set up very simple. I'm going to do the simplest thing. And I have here, I hope we can see from the same angle. I'll scoot over. This is great because the window is right this way. And so we have a really, really clear view of shadow and light. Now the first thing is we're going to notice before we start drawing the direction of the light where it's coming from. So you can see that here is really light, here is really light, right? And there's not any shadow on the table over here. But the great thing is because the light's so direct, we have these beautiful shadows. Look at this in here. This beautiful shadow here, under here, coming around here. This is great. And also inside the vessels. Now I want you to notice before we do anything else, the shape of the darkest shadows. Look at this one here. This one does not come straight across. See if like how my pencil's straight across this cup now? Look how the shadows are. Remember we talked about this the other day. They're round for a reason because the light follows the shape of the object. That will be so important for you to remember no matter what you're doing. If it's a face, if it's a building, if it's a car, whatever it is, the light follows the shape of the surface. Same thing in here. Look, right in here. Whoa, yeah. You see how this kind of curves around in here? It's following the shape of the surface. This comes out further in front than this one. These are all the things I'm going to look at while I'm sketching. Very, very important. I'll start sketching now. It's going to be backwards because I'm seeing, well, I could try and sketch from the phone screen, but actually I'm going to look from here, but I see the back side of this. So that's a little bit different than here. Okay. So what I basically do, and I'm just going to show you this because I'm going to move these out of the way a little bit so you can watch me sketch, okay? I noticed that a lot of you are really afraid to get the lines wrong. Please do not be afraid because what we do is we just draw and those things get sorted out. So I'm going to start with this yellow cup right here from my perspective. And I'm going to give it some height. And I'm not worried about all these extra lines I'm putting in. They're kind of like maps for us to find our way through something. So we don't worry. Now you'll see I have a lot of extra lines on here. And I'm not worried about that at all. Okay? I'm kind of just creating my map. Then I'm looking at where the second bowl is. It actually is quite a bit higher here. And it comes around like this from my perspective. Now remember, I'm looking at this from a completely different angle than you are. I'm looking at it from the other side, so it's not going to look like what you're seeing. But the concept is the same, because what I'm trying to express to you is that I'm not worried if I'm not getting the lines right. I'm creating a map, a visual map for myself to get myself started. All right, I'm not worried about all this extra stuff. That actually makes your drawing more interesting in the end. And many artists will leave these initial lines in. It's called ghost lining. You're right, you can make them lighter or whatever. The next thing I'm going to do, so first thing I do is I sketch out my shapes on here. The next thing I'm going to do is lay in my darker areas, but I'm not going to go so dark, right? I'm going to put these in here really lightly. Again, this is part of my map. of getting the composition on the paper. All right, so I'm gonna lay in some shading in here. Watch how I'm moving my hand to the shape of the object I'm drawing. I'm not trying to make it something it's not. It's really dark in here. So it's gonna be a little bit darker in here. It's gonna come a little lighter at the top where the light kind of filters into the top of the cup right there. All right, and then here, like this. This is what I'm seeing from my point of view. All right, so what we have right here is this. Can you see what I did right there? Let's see, let me get this closer. This is my very basic, let's bring this around a little. So I was looking at this right here, this, okay? And then I drew just that to get started. You got that? So then you're gonna continue from there, okay? You'll continue with refining the shapes and making sure you're getting your shadows put in. Just do your best, okay? There are no mistakes. The only mistake you make in this scenario is not trying. When we don't try, we can't get anywhere. It's different, okay? It's different than a lot of other disciplines. We find our way through. And when you try this kind of thing and you refine the way you see, remember what I told you, is you start to see the rest of your life really clearly. It's not just about drawing. When we learn to see when we're drawing, we start to be able to look at our situations, look at our reactions, look at ourselves, and really start to understand deeply what's going on. That's another reason why this is really important to do. We got big things to accomplish, so I need to make sure, even if I'm not there, that you are understanding these skills. Please feel free to watch this as much as you need to. Watch the video if you need more instruction. And also, you can take pictures. You can email me at my school email address, lcato, C-A-T-O, lcato @globalscholarsacademy.org if you have questions. If there's a way, if somebody's got a cell phone, one of the teachers wants to take a picture, and you can send the picture to me. If you need some feedback, whatever it is, teacher could text me while you're in class with your question, whatever you need, let me know. Do your best while I'm gone. Impress those teachers and show them what you can do. Bring your best, and I will see you next class with another exciting video. Have a great weekend. Do your best. Bye, guys.